Now, as you get involved in week 2, I want to go back to week 1 and I want to make sure you understand the value of week 1. Many parents don't get this, they don't understand it, so I'm going to explain it to you again so you can take it back to your parents again. There are 3 basic emotion categories that children experience, and I'm sure the parents of the children that your parents are working with are dealing with this on some level. There's the whole group of sadness, which has to do with disappointment, areas or discouraged, that kind of thing. Then there's the anger ones, which have to do with frustration, blocked goals, mistreatment, injustice, whatever it is that children feel when it comes to anger. And then there's anxiety issues, which have to do with worry and fears. Now, if we're going to help children deal with their emotional challenges, which of course are inside of the heart, then they're going to need to learn how to deal with that on a heart level. And God has a solution for all of those emotional challenges that we experience. We can summarize those solutions with these words. You need to let it go. Now, the way you let it go with sadness and anger and anxiety may be different, and we develop how-tos to do that, but letting it go is a strategic way that we overcome the emotional challenges that we experience. They get us hung up, and then we get stuck. Children will learn to let it go when they practice the instruction routine. Why? Because every time you call a child's name and the child has to come over, they have to let go of something. When you have a child who's going to do a task they don't want to do, they have to let go of something. So the instruction routine becomes this valuable tool for starting to massage the heart, starting to work the character into a child's heart that they will be using in week 4 and onwards. Parents don't get this many times. They think in terms of tasks. I'm trying to get things done around the house. And that's true. That's one of the side benefits of working hard on the instruction routine, is that it's easier to get things done. But more importantly, there's a process going on of how the parent is relating to the child, how the child is learning obligation inside, how the child is learning to give up his agenda so that he can follow instructions, how the child thinks about what else do I need to do before I report back. All of that is building character and some very important qualities in a child that we're going to use later for emotional challenges or sibling conflict or potty training or whatever it is that we're trying to work on with this child. So think in terms of the instruction routine. That will help you a lot. It looks like everybody's into Slack, and purpose statements are being posted, so you'll see those. If you have any struggle or challenge in Slack, you want to get back to me so that I can help you do what you need to do. You've got posting questions in the general question area if you want to ask me a question, or in your channel. Don't send me a private message with a question that's for the whole group, because I'm just going to send it back to you and say, please ask this question. It's a good question, but please ask it so that others can see my answer. So we can keep the dialogue going there. Take time and go into the other channels now and see what's happening in these other families. So as you are learning about how to work with your particular family, you're also learning how to work with the other families as well. It'll be a great way for you to help out. Now, I put new information in the general questions channel. I made comments in a number of channels, so I encourage you to work hard in getting to know that information, and then feel free to ask me questions. I'll give you some more input as we go forward, and I'll certainly add more content as we're going forward so that you can be up to speed on how to work with various families in the challenges that they're experiencing. So work hard in week 2, because now we're not only revealing and working on and repracticing the instruction routine, but now we're going on to the break. And the break is a hard thing to teach. Parents need to get started with the break. That'll help them a lot. In the instruction routine, you're often moving children from compliance. Parents are saying, okay, I kind of am doing what we're doing here. Now we're going to move toward cooperation. Cooperation is where the child starts to participate more. And really, we want the child to do 3 things to measure the success of an instruction routine. First, come when called. Second, say, okay, Mom, when the task is given. And thirdly, report back when you're done. Son, if you do those 3 things, you've had a successful instruction routine. Now we've moved from just compliance to cooperation, where the child is giving some input in this process over the 3 weeks. We're embellishing the instruction routine, helping children to get things done, and it's increasing some more things in their hearts that are going to help them. We'll add more to that next week. Now, as you start the break, recognize that the break is a process again when you're off track. So Parents need to learn how to deal with the fact that their children are off track, and now we parent differently. If your child's yelling or arguing, or your child is fighting, or your child is having an emotional episode, you parent differently because the child is off track. Don't keep trying to get things done when the child's off track. Stop trying to get things done and move to the off-track plan, which includes the break and then next week the positive conclusion. So practice the break with your parents, help them learn how to use it. Again, it's going to help us with emotional management because children who are getting upset need to learn how to pull back, settle down, and re-enter. The break helps do that. Watch all of those ideas unfold this week in the videos and with your parent. Ask questions in your channel and in the other channels, and let's continue to help children grow in some significant ways and help them to develop the life skills they need in their heart to manage the challenges that they'll feel over time.